Okay, folks, this is Kareem with Liberty and Consciousness, promoting liberty through consciousness expansion. Now, a lot of people want to say, hey, if Donald Trump doesn't get elected, blah, blah, blah will happen. Pick your nightmare scenario, whatever it is. Joe Biden, same thing. Here's an interesting article by Libertarian candidate Jo Jorgensen. If you don't know Jo Jorgensen, she's a doctor running on the Libertarian ticket. And in my opinion, this is the most important issue. So who does she say is the worst president, and why is that important? Former President Woodrow Wilson. She blamed for the two great financial evils. I sometimes ask who is the worst president in the history of the United States. It's not Trump, Obama, neither of them. In fact, it's not any modern president. No, the worst president is Woodrow Wilson. Why? Those were the 16th Amendment, which establishes the federal income tax, and the Federal Reserve Act, which created the nation's central bank. Now you might be asking, Kareem, why can't I make my rent? Why is the dollar going so low? Why do I need a stimulus package? It's because the Federal Reserve has been in full swing, and they do what's called quantitative easing, which kills the dollar and causes inflation. Simply put, they control money creation, and they print more money. The money supply loses its value. Fairly simple economics, I think. Obviously, I'm not an economist. It goes much deeper. But without these, and she's talking about these systems, I'm going to be able to afford our endless wars or broken welfare system. Interesting. She's sounding more and more like Ron Paul, which I like. Woodrow Wilson is responsible for the two great financial evils, the 16th Amendment establishing the federal income tax and the Federal Reserve. These two pieces of legislation, both passed or were ratified in 1913. As president, I would work to undo the horrors of 1913 by abolishing the income tax, auditing the Federal Reserve, thank you, and put our country back on the path to prosperity with a commodity-backed currency. She's also called for America to be like one giant Switzerland, and recently told Fox News she favors a market-based health care akin to the model of LASIK surgery and auto insurance. Basically, you could use insurance, but you would mostly pay for stuff out of pocket, which would make it cheaper. Wilson, who received a Nobel Prize in 1919, was known for implementing progressive policies and received heightened criticism for his record on race as well. Now, here's why I think this is important. A lot of people are making doomsday scenarios for Trump and Biden. And okay, do it if you want. Here's the interesting thing. If you do not get the Federal Reserve under control, what happens? Well, the dollar is still the world reserve currency, meaning people still want to use dollars. But the debt clock is going to keep going up. We can take a look at the debt clock literally by typing in debt clock in Google, and you can just click on U.S. National Debt Clock. This is what she's talking about. It's printing, spending, printing, spending. 27 trillion. Do you know any private businesses that could go 27 trillion in debt? You don't. She is the only politician that I know of. I'm not saying she was the only one, but she's the only politician I know of since Ron Paul to actually run for president and try and take this seriously. If you don't get this under control, this is going to have bad ramifications. This is not from a Democrat standpoint, a Republican standpoint, or a Libertarian standpoint. We just can't keep doing this. I get it. Democrats said don't do this. Okay, Republicans, vote with them. At the end of the day, we need to get this under control. Neither bipartisan candidates are going to do it. This is why she either needs to win by a miracle in 2020 or 2024. We can't have goofballs like these constantly in here running spending up. Not only are they ineffective, they're dangerous, and they really don't have a clear ideology or a clear understanding of monetary theory. So if you were on the fence about, hey, who's going to be best for America, especially in the long term, I think it's fairly simple to say Jo Jorgensen. I think if you're a fiscal conservative, it's Jo Jorgensen. Seriously. Even if you're a hardcore red, fiscal conservative. I just don't want you care about your income, you care about your money. I would think you would. I think this is a fairly simple choice to make. This is the right thing to do. So if you want to do the right thing, it's time to set aside your biases, your fear of the lesser evil or the greater evil or whatever it is. It's time to stop watching the media, and it's time to look for someone who's going to legitimately follow the non-aggression principle, put us back on sound currency, and actually do good for America, which is what I presume we all want. So thank you very much for watching this. Google JoJo 2020, Jo Jorgensen, but this is a very important issue that needs addressed. Regardless of where you stand politically, I'm going to say that again. Regardless of where you stand politically, this needs addressed, especially if you're a fiscal conservative. A lot of people ask me that. That's my answer. Alright guys, so this is Kareem with Liberty and Consciousness, promoting liberty through consciousness expansion, making you aware of stuff like this, the truth that no one wants to tell you. Because everybody's, the economy is great, Trump's economy is great, and then people like Charlie Kirk from Failing Point USA will say, hey, look, this group has an unemployment rate of this group has a, fine, whatever, great. Doesn't mean anything. Not in the long term. It might be nice in the short term with a bubble economy. You artificially inflated some things. You artificially inflated the economy. It's the equivalent of me seeing someone who has a lot of pain, who could even be dying from a disease, and saying, instead of curing you, let me give you pain meds. Let me give you more pain meds. See, he's doing better than ever. I gave him higher pain meds. Isn't this a great state of health? And he's like, no, I'm completely numb. I can't feel my nerves. That's where we're at. That's where we're at. If you don't believe me, research this. Take a look at this fun little thing. It just keeps going up and up and up. And this is something we need to address. So I'll leave you with that. Really take some time and think, who do you want to vote for? What do you want the future of America to look like? It can look a lot of different ways. I would say this is the best way to do it. So again, this is Kareem from Liberty and Consciousness, promoting liberty through consciousness expansion. Be sure to subscribe, hit that notification bell below, like this video, and leave me a comment below. Thank you.